so much for being here. Today we're going to go over 10 tips to help you go and grow with your social media, some best strategies, and practices, and basically that means some really great things to do and some really great examples / funny examples of things not to do. I want to say a giant thank you to the library. They have not only let me speak this seminar twice, but helped me put on a whole series of social media seminars that Tammy was talking about. Today we're going to do, this is kind of a broad stroke overview, just in general social media, what you should be doing or can be doing. In the next series, we're going to be breaking down each individual site. So we're going to have an hour on just Facebook, an hour on Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the great sites that businesses can utilize. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jerry Rollins. I own a marketing company here in Springfield called Raw Marketing. We specialize in social media marketing for businesses and nonprofits. In addition to that, I'm a mentor for SCORE. Anybody in here a SCORE client or familiar with what SCORE is? A couple? For those of you who don't know, SCORE is a nonprofit consisting of retired business executives. However, I'm not retired. I'm not sure how I got into this club. And what we do is we go through and we'll do face-to-face mentoring or counseling for small businesses in any aspect of the business ownership process. So if you just have an idea and want to know if that would be a good business, you can get a hold of a SCORE mentor and they'll walk you through the beginning stages. Or if you're ready to retire from your business, you've been doing it for 25 years and you're ready to go live on the beach, they'll also help you figure out how to get that done. So I'm going to refer a lot to Constant Contact today. And how many folks are here because they got an email from Constant Contact? How many here because they got an invitation from LinkedIn? Couple. How many here are from the library? I think a big portion. Okay. Well, Constant Contact is an email marketing solutions provider. I'm going to tell you more about them in just a second. Here's all my contact information, including my email address and all my social sites. Please do not write this down. I'm going to make sure everyone that's here today has a copy of this presentation. And like I said, I hate taking notes. So Constant Contact. Constant Contact is a great tool to help make your online marketing extremely simple. Sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? They have great tools like email marketing, event marketing, which was part of the process for signing up to be here today for those folks that got an email invite. They help with online surveys and social media campaigns. But I think the coolest part about Constant Contact is it doesn't matter if you're an account holder or not. They have free webinars and free seminars just like this one here today. If you're just walking in or you haven't yet, please go ahead and drop your business card in that basket back there. Besides getting the awesome email from me with this killer presentation, I'm going to do a raffle at the end and offer some free social media services to one lucky business card holder. If you're the husband and wife or brother and sister teams in the room, you all are cheaters. Okay, I want to start by asking the question. And I'm really interactive, so feel free to raise your hand or talk out loud and accurately answer all my questions that I have. Why do we market?
Communicate our services.
Communicate services to get business. Why else?
Like money.
To get what?
Volunteer.
To get volunteer. Are you a nonprofit? Which one are you? Sorry.
Cable Rock Lake Water Quality.
Cable Rock Lake Water Quality. Any other nonprofits in here? Okay, so let's get this going. I love this picture. We market because we want more. We want more customers, clients, volunteers. How about donations for the nonprofits? I think everybody in here, nonprofit or business, wants more brand awareness. I always do. We want more sales. We ultimately want more money on our bottom line. We want more website traffic and more time in the day, right? Did I miss any reasons for marketing that anyone might have in here specific to their business? Not yet. We'll see what happens. Something really interesting that's happening today is only 14% of people are trusting ads that they're seeing on either TV or in magazines or in newspapers. But 78% of folks are trusting consumer recommendations. So let me ask you all a question, or a series of questions, really. How many folks have bought something online before? Almost everybody? Now, before you bought that product, did you read all the customer reviews and testimonials and ratings before you did it? What happened if it had a bad customer rating?
Went to something else.
You went to something else, different product or a different brand, and to have a really good customer rating, were you extremely more likely to go ahead and click through and make that purchase? It's really interesting, and the same thing applies to social media. If I say followers, who knows what social media site I'm talking about? Twitter. What about if I say pins? voices right there. Okay, how about fans?
Facebook.
What about circles? You guys rock, awesome. Okay, so social media marketing is building your social network, these social networks here, of fans, followers, and connections, using relevant and interesting content. We're gonna spend quite a bit of time talking about that. That's shared, allowing you to reach and engage more people, have two-way conversations with customers, potential customers, donors, volunteers, and to ultimately drive more business. Anyone in here have concerns or think that social media is a little on the scary side? Yes? You want to share some of those concerns with me?
Mainly privacy.
That's an excellent concern.
That's on a personal basis. However, in business, the more the better, I guess.
Anybody else feel that way? Are they super scared to have some of their personal information out there? Absolutely. Does anyone use some of the privacy settings on the social media sites to protect themselves? If you don't and you're concerned about privacy, get with me afterwards. I would love to have some discussions about that. I saw another hand raised. What was another concern? No one else? I swear I saw more than one. Oh, go ahead.
It's learning to use it properly.
Okay.
It's very confusing.
Anybody else uber confused about the way that social media changes every single day and never being able to keep up with it? How about whenever Facebook pages turned into the timeline last March? Anyone cry? So some of the most popular concerns that I hear are social media marketing looks really interesting, but I'll never have 1 million customers or even 5,000. And you know what? That's absolutely true. For some small businesses or nonprofits, you might not even have 500. All right. How about using new inbound marketing tools sounds really great, but I'll never write thought leadership articles. And that would be like an example would be blogs. Anybody terrified of blogging? I am a little bit, I'll be honest. How about paying attention to what's being said on social media sounds useful, but I'll never have a dedicated staff to do it right. I see a lot of heads nodding on that one. And finally, we're talking about this. I hear about new tools and networks every single day, but I just don't have the time to stay current. And we could probably sit here and go through 100 more social media concerns. And the reason why is social media constantly changes. But the reason you're here is because your customers and your fans and your clients and your volunteers, they're on social media sites. We want to learn how to engage them and utilize it. So what you do have is powerful. You can successfully market your business or association because you have those loyal, happy customers. An excellent customer experience. I hope everyone in here has an excellent customer experience. And interesting and important things to say. So let's get started with the 10 tips, shall we? The first tip I have for you today is to set goals. There's a lot of goals that are being on social media sites, and everyone's are a little bit different, but here's some of the top ones that I hear, right? We want to keep our customers. We want to improve customer service. We want to encourage repeat business. How about increase relationships and referrals, get more prospects, and increase brand awareness? Does anybody have any goals maybe that are a little bit different than these here? Not yet? We'll see what happens at the end.
I would say translate it into money.
Translate it into money?
Yeah, none of that matters if it doesn't translate into money. It's a business, no, I'm serious.
End of the day, bottom line, we want more sales, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to interrupt.
You're fine.
I was
It's my
gonna-
time to this.
I was just gonna elaborate, one of our biggest challenges is education to the end consumer because we're B2B, but yet there still is an end consumer who doesn't know a lot about particularly what we manufacture. We manufacture dietary enzyme supplements.
Okay.
So there's a huge audience out there who doesn't know anything about what we do. So it's a challenge.
First answer yours. I thought we might be related, so I wouldn't have paused and listened to
Okay,
that.
no problem.
We're gonna talk about getting sales quite a bit and how all these things help you get more sales. I promise you that. If you have more questions at the end, we've got about a 30-minute Q&A time to talk about that. Now to answer your question, how many folks in here are B2B? I am. A couple? I'll tell you that B2B is one of the more difficult, social media makes it more difficult for us than B2C does. But I've got some tips too on how we kind of utilize that to make it a little bit better. So I promise I'll answer your question. If you have more at the end, we'll keep going on it, okay?
Question.
Yes.
Okay, back to it. What the heck is B2B and B2C?
I'm so sorry. I apologize. B2B is a short-term lingo for business to business.
Okay.
So I'm a marketing company, and I don't want to market to just folks on the street. I want to do marketing services for other businesses. Whereas B2C, a great example is a retail store.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Business to consumer, absolutely. Here, I want to show you this example before we get started on the next tip of what a local restaurant called In a Pickle does. And they're not local here, they're way far away, but they're a great example of how to use all these social media sites and email marketing together. They're absolutely everywhere on the web. They're on YouTube and Facebook, email marketing. They send that weekly email newsletter update to all their customers that have their special deals, their new menu items, and their events. They use social media to experiment and push on-the-fly specials and get feedback from the customers and build their community. But the cool thing about this, or why I showed as an example right here, is they use email as their online marketing hub that brings absolutely everything together. So in this room, do we have anybody that's just using one social or just using email for marketing, or do we have folks that are more doing kind of the whole realm of things? Whole realm of things?
Email I have used, and I'm thinking there's a bigger world out there.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Not yet, okay. Goal number 2 today is to know your audience. And this really helps play into some of the questions and concerns that you had about increasing sales, right? So if we're on our social media sites and we don't know who our audience is, or we're not talking to them in the way they want to be talked to, we're not going to be that effective. By knowing your audience, you want to ask and you shall receive. You've all heard my grandma say that before. Ask them how they like to be communicated with. But not only that, what tools are they using? So if you're not seeing an increase in foot traffic or website clicks or sales at the end of the day, but you're using social media, let's say you're just using Twitter, well, maybe all your folks are on Facebook, and that's why you're not seeing very much interaction and very much success. You also want to find out when they check their social media sites and their email. Beyond that, what they want to get from your communications, they want to know about coupons, they want to know about specials, they want to know about new items in your store. For nonprofits, they want to know about upcoming events that they can help out with. And more importantly, by knowing them, you want to ask them how you can help them. How many folks in here still believe that social media is for college kids? It's okay, be honest, I'm only going to yell at you a little bit. I'm a numbers person, I love stats, and I wish I had time to go through this entire sheet with you. But you check it out in your email, take a look at what the difference between the men and the women are. The average age range per site, you'll notice that LinkedIn, the average age range increases quite a bit. The income level and also the education level. Social media is not just for kiddos anymore. Anyone want to take a stab at the fastest growing demographic on social media sites right now?
65 million.
Baby boomers. Baby boomers are the fastest growing. Why do you think? Are they getting on Facebook and Twitter?
They want to keep an eye on their kids.
You did exactly right. Their grandkids and their kids aren't calling them anymore. So they want to see those pictures. They want to kind of socially stalk them online. It's really interesting. Now, are there as many baby boomers online as there are 25 to 35-year-olds? No, not yet, but I believe that they will get there. Number 3 is monitor your online brand. Your online brand is being created with or without you. Do you know what's being said about you online, about your association, about your company? How about your competitors? Does anybody in here Google themselves ever?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody find out they were a felon from New Jersey when they did? No? Well, it's really interesting to see what's being said about you online, but more importantly, you can find out what's being said about your competitors and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. I think Marcus Pope has some great examples of what he found out online about his competitors and has built a company based off the things that they've done right and the things that they've done wrong. Right? Anybody else here model some of their business strategy based on what they found out? Not yet. So this is what happened whenever I Googled myself. When I first started my company, I typed in Raw Marketing, LLC, that's my company's name. And when I made my company name, I was so excited. I thought Raw Marketing is the best name ever. It's half of my last name, so it makes my daddy really happy. And it also means cutting edge or exciting or new age. And then I Googled myself, and I found out there were about 5 other Raw Marketings in the United States. I was so sad. I didn't even show up on the list. But just before this presentation last month, I Googled myself again. So I'm really active online, constantly doing stuff on social media sites. And I was all top 3 of the top 3. I was so excited. This was pretty big news to me. So by Googling yourself, you not only find out about you, but where your rankings are. And what's fun about using social media is about a year and a half ago, the big search engines, Yahoo and Bing and Google, they started, I'm going to get real nerdy for a second, so if I need to slow down, let me know. They started crawling the social media sites for their search engine results. So they always crawled your website, right? So we knew our website needed to be really good to be found in the search engine. They also started crawling social media sites. So the more active you are, the more links you post, especially back to your website or your blog, the more likely you are to appear higher ranked in these results.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
As far as the crawlers or whatever they do, the algorithms that they use, I've been noticing that they're changing some of that. You know, we're starting to appear in different areas, and then some people that aren't even related to our business are popping up, maybe because they're blogging about something particularly relevant to whatever someone searched for. But how do we stay on top of how they change those algorithms and what they're up to? Is there any area or website we can go to and figure that out?
You know, I don't know if there's a website directory that lets you know. I know they're the search engines are constantly changing the way they do things because web developers, those design guys, are getting really good at kind of manipulating the system. But there's someone in this room who's incredibly design savvy. Marcus, do you know if there's a online directory that you can keep up with the changing search engine terms?
Actually, I don't know the answer to that question. I am familiar with a lot of the algorithms that they use. The best way to maintain your position in search engines is to have constant relevant content. Sorry.
And that means
Relevance is what they're changing those algorithms to weed out the people that Tara is referring to that manipulate those results.
Okay.
And bring to the surface the things that are relevant to what you're searching for, or what everybody.
And that means not just being active on social media sites and not just blogging, but also going through and changing some of the internal terms within your website design itself. Is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, there's a whole, I won't get too technical. I'm a programmer, so I have a tendency to do that, but I won't get too technical. However, there's a whole science to where Google and other search engines pull the data that they use to calculate how relevant your site is to the search that the user is performing.
Did that answer your question?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh, I have to get all my web developer guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick on Marcus as often as I can. He is my fiance's business partner, and this is his first time being in my presentation, so I have to pick on him in order for me to feel justified, if that's okay with everybody. And he's an incredibly intelligent guy. Other sites that can help you get found. So we just talked about your social media sites, and we talked about blogging a little bit, and we talked about your website. But there's also online directories. Does anyone in here know what a Google Place page is, or have their Google Place page claimed? One does. How many of you have been looking online for Pizza Hut in Springfield, Missouri? You Googled that, and up came a funky little map with this weird-looking red balloon. That's a Google Place page. Now, the reason that you should claim it is because if you don't, your customers can claim it for you and enter in incorrect information or even bad information about your business. And Google is the #1 search engine, so these are where folks are going. If your information is not correct, the likelihood of getting people in the door, money in the bank, is going to decrease. All the major search engines have a directory like this. There's a list of top 7 you can find. If you get a few extra half a day and with nothing to do on your agenda, go through and start claiming your place page. You will be amazed at how much it can help increase the phone calls and the foot traffic.
That's another fear I have is competitors put disinformation.
Absolutely.
And is that pretty prevalent or not?
Most competitors aren't going to go in and enter terrible information about you. That's just very unbusinesslike. However, I have seen cases where that happened. Miss Tammy, I think I got frozen up here. More than likely what you're going to see happen is if your customer has maybe a bad experience, and a bad experience could be anything from them trying to call your business during business hours to 30-minute late delivery, or maybe a not so kind employee on the phone, they're more than likely going to talk about that. What's really interesting is we used to say that it took 7 touches for someone to remember who you are and remember your business. Do you all remember that phrase, 7 touches? Anybody want to guess how many touches it's taking in today's technology age before someone remembers who you are?
27.
Between 24 and 27, absolutely. Can you imagine? So it's not just the traditional marketing materials that we used to get by with the 7 touches. That's why this online marketing is becoming so prevalent. So tell me in here, how many folks already have a Facebook page? And do you have have a personal page or a fan page? Fan page. Anybody in here using a personal page or a personal profile for their business? Meaning instead of getting likes, you get friends? Not a one. You guys aren't talking. You would be surprised at how many businesses out there are having a personal page for their business. So I always like to ask that question because in case that you do have that and you didn't raise your hand, you were a little shy, you can get your page rolled over. It's a fairly simple process. But if Facebook were to find out that you're doing this, they could shut you down. So let's say you have 2,000 friends. All of a sudden you get on Facebook one day and your profile is completely gone. Well, that's because you made Mark Zuckerberg a little grumpy. If you want more information that is you and you didn't raise your hand, come and see me afterwards and I'll kind of walk you through that process. How many folks on here use LinkedIn? What do you think about it? It's boring, right? It's the most boring site in the entire world. Nothing goes on that site. No one talks to each other. Nobody likes any of the cool stuff that you post. That's how I felt. I used to say it was, and pardon my language, it was the least sexy site of all the social media sites. You click on Jerry Rollins, and then go to the library folder. One more over. And then this one right down at the bottom. Thank you very much. Well, the cool thing about LinkedIn is what's happening is we want to try to build a really huge database of connections. How many folks have 0 to 100 connections? Anybody in the 250-ish range? Anybody 500? Any thousands? Okay, so your goal whenever you get home is to try to build, if you're on LinkedIn, try to build that database of connections as much as you can. Connect with me, connect with all your business partners, all of your friends, and then start using the LinkedIn messaging system. Have you all seen this? Maybe you got a couple messages before? What you can do is you go in and send an email. Say you want to promote an event or a service or a product or a special. Go in and write a little message about it and send it to all of your LinkedIn connections. I guarantee you'll be amazed at how many phone calls you get, or how many emails you get about it, or how many folks walking in the door. I do these presentations all the time. I'm going to skip through why I still talk, but I'm not going to go too fast so we don't jam it up with you, okay? I do these presentations quite a bit, and I would say about 50% come from constant contact emails. About 40% of the attendees come from LinkedIn. Very good. And the other 10% come from Facebook and Twitter. Now I'm kind of the Facebook guru, so for me this is really frustrating. I can't get these Facebook folks to come to my events, but what it's telling me is my folks, if I want to target, they're on LinkedIn. All right, sorry about this, folks. While I'm clicking through here, I want to know how many ladies or gentlemen in here have a Pinterest page. Do you have it for business or personal? Personal. Any business?
I don't have a business, but I follow a lot of businesses.
Any good local businesses that you should recommend that we follow?
Like Cowgirl Platt has a really cute one.
What kind of?
I follow her. She does like cowgirl boots and just cowgirl jewelry and stuff like that. So she'll pin all the stuff she has in her store on there, and then if you click and open it, you can go to her website on that specific boot or whatever you're looking at and buy it right from there.
I'm interested in Pinterest for your business page. Sounds like she's doing some really great things. We have a Pinterest seminar coming up. Thank you all so much for bearing with us while we kind of got this taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and keep going because I know your time is really valuable. More on monitoring your online presence is Google Alerts. Do we have any Google Alert fanatics in here? What do you use Google Alerts for?
News mostly.
News? Anything business related for your company?
Not yet.
Okay.
Our R&D people use it a lot.
Okay.
And our technical people who are looking for trends, marketing trends that are happening within our area of expertise.
How about you? What do you use Google Alerts for?
I'm with Harder House, and every time the Google alerts, I get it weekly, and anything that ever says Harder House comes to my inbox.
Is it always great stuff? I love Harder House.
Yeah, but sometimes it's somebody else.
Okay. Different competitor maybe, or
I
someone
might
else.
get 10 things, and 4 of them will be me.
No kidding. Well, for those folks that didn't know or haven't used Google Alerts, it's a really great way to help save you some time, but also continue to monitor yourself like we're doing here. It's an easy website, google.com/alerts. If you can't tell, I love Google. My fiance says if Google were a man, you would leave me for him. Google Alerts can help you monitor your name, your company name, your competitors, trends, like this nice lady in the back was saying, keywords, and even your industry as a whole. And what this kind of looks like is this. So in your search terms, you want to put either the name of your company or your competitor's name. Keep in mind if you have more than one word in your name to put it in quotes. Otherwise, Google's going to look for everything constant and everything contact, and that's not going to yield the kind of results that we want. You can choose what type you want, and I have everything. So I'm looking for news, blogs, web, discussions, and video, everything they have to offer. What kind of results we want, and also where to deliver it to. The cool thing is, if this is your first time doing it, you can preview your results, so you can kind of decide right away, okay, did I set this up right, or do I need to do a little bit of tweaking to how I enter my information in here. Tip number 4 is all about branding up today. All right, have you ever been to a company's Facebook page? I always start at the Facebook page. And they had a beautiful photo on there, and I really wanted to buy those pair of boots. And so I click on the link to go to their website, and their website is archaic and looks absolutely nothing like their Facebook page. Well, at that point, I'm confused. Am I even in the right spot? Am I gonna click through and buy these boots? Am I gonna risk it being something different? I'm absolutely not gonna do that. So my tip for you, or my tip thing to do, is make sure you're professionally branding your business everywhere that you're at on the web, whether it's social media sites, website, online directories, blogs. Make sure you look the same and that folks can easily recognize you. Be consistent with your logo, phone number, address, website, icons. This example here is Donald Oral Stirrups, and they're a local wooden horse stirrup manufacturer. And this bottom image is their website, and the top image is their Facebook page. Is there any question whatsoever that this is the same business? No, they did a great job. So that's something to take home and consider. Take a look at all your social sites versus your website and make sure there's a large sense of consistency there. My 5th tip to you today is to listen, learn, and earn, or get to know the neighborhood. So if I'm a new wine retailer in town, I could try to do all of this on my own and figure it out myself, but more than likely I'm not going to do that because I want to save a lot of time. Maybe it's a little bit on the lazy side. So I'm going to go to Facebook, the search engine, and I'm going to I'm going to search for a wine store, Springfield, Missouri. I'm going to see what my local competitors are doing, what they're doing right, and what they're doing not so right, and try to steal, or I think benchmark is the professional term, some of their great ideas that they're using. Vino Wine Cellars is a great local wine store. If you all have not been there, they have 1,200 fans, and just so you all know, for a Springfield area business, 1,200 fans is a great number. There's some that have 10,000. I think KY3 has 50,000. But for a lot of folks, they're sitting between the 300 to 500 range, so it's quite a bit. Other things you can do online is let your customers help you grow. This is a post made to one of our constant contact pages. The lady says, hey, I want to talk to you about constant contact. It sounds great. Give me a call. Well, before we were able to respond, we had 5 or so of our current constant contact users get on there and essentially sell our business for us. If you can get this to happen on your social media sites, way to go. This is what you're always looking for. This just basically means you offer that great customer experience and product or service. These are some of the things I was telling you about that I wish I could go through and spend time on every single one, but we don't. So when you get this email later, check out some of these Facebook pages. Most of them are local. A few of them aren't. These folks do some really good things online. And if anyone's considering getting into YouTube, these are some really awesome commercials that you have to check out. I guarantee most of them will have you on the floor, rolling around laughing by the time you're done looking at them. We're going to pause on this for just 1 second. Everything all right back there, Tammy? Yep. So our pause on the YouTube page. Is anybody in here using YouTube for their business? How do you use it?
Record programs, special events, library promotions, how-to videos.
Is this video right now going to go on?
It is going to be on the library's YouTube page.
Was it going to go on the YouTube page prior to the computer kind of funking out on us?
Let's shoot for Friday-ish.
Okay, very good. Folks, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. YouTube is a great medium to market your business, but what a lot of folks struggle with is they don't have a professional video crew, or they don't have even a decent camera to do to do their videos with. So I was really curious on what I could do for my business on YouTube without spending a ton of money. I think that's what everyone's kind of looking for, is how to do the most without spending the most. I went to the local Radio Shack and I asked the guys there, "Hey, I'm looking for a camera. Do you have one that you can recommend for me? And here's what I want to use it for, YouTube videos." You know what they said to me? Pull out your phone. It's an Android, an incredible HTC 2. It's not even an iPhone. And they said the image quality on this camera is going to be as good as some of our lower line video cameras. So if you can get it to just sit still and take your video, you're better off using this. Okay, so now for the folks that were a little leery about using YouTube, does that maybe change your mind a little bit? Maybe not? All right, so we're going to keep moving on as best as we can without having our backup here, guys, and I'm really sorry. I'm going to tell you a story that I usually tell later on in the video, but it's a great story about how you can use not only email marketing, but social media marketing to kind of test your results on a dime. I was down visiting some family in Austin, Texas, and I went into this nail shop to get my nails done. I was super excited about it. And the store was absolutely empty, and this gentleman named Dominic, he comes up to me and says, you know, "Hi, I'm Dominic. What would you like today? I want a manicure." I said, "Well, Dominic, tell me a little bit about your business." It's odd, for me, in my opinion, at least from being from Springfield, to have a gentleman doing my nails. He goes, "Well, this is my sister's company, and I just bought it from her. It's failing, but I didn't want to give it up. And so I'm just starting out and trying to make this work." I said, "All right, well, that sounds interesting." And he asked me, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I own a marketing company, and I also work with Constant Contact, and here's kind of what I do and what that looks like." Okay, so skip forward, maybe 6 or 8 months later, I was down visiting the same group of family, and I go back to the nail salon. Only this time, there was 3 or 4 ladies helping them out. The waiting room was absolutely full. There were folks everywhere, and people kept coming up to Dominic, and they would say something really odd. It was like, "I love nails," or "I love Dominic," and I'm thinking, I don't really know what's going on here. This whole scene is a little fishy. And every time they would say something, he would mark a little note on his notepad, and then he would, they would wait, and they would have their service. It was incredibly interesting. So I get up, and it's my turn. I'm saying, "What in the world is going on here?" He said, "Well, it's simple. I sent out an email, and the email said to get 20% off your nails, say, 'I love Dominic.'" I hope this makes sense. And I said, "I put out a Twitter post, and the Twitter post said, 'I love nails,' to get 20% off." And then he sent out, I think the third one was a Facebook post, and it also said, "I love," whatever the case was, to get 20% off your next service. Tammy, you got me covered to the slide I was on until I done my story. Thank you very much. So that explained it, right? But the results that he showed were so interesting. I asked him for the results because I'm a little bit nosy and I can get away with that. He found that the majority of the ladies, or possibly guys, coming into his salon were coming from his email, and a little bit more coming from Facebook and Twitter. But he was able to decide, okay, well, for the next quarter or for the next 6 months, I'm going to invest a little bit more time in my email marketing than I do on these 2 social media sites, because it seems like most of my folks are coming in from right here. I think we're almost there. So I usually tell that story a little bit later on the end, so whenever we get there, you'll know, and I'm just going to skip right over it. All right, we're good. I'm actually going to back up a little bit, make sure we're in the right spot. We are. Tip number 6, as if I haven't been a little bit cheesy enough already, this is my absolute cheese slide. I have some really cheesy quotes, if you will, that I not only say to myself, but I tell my clients, so I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm not supposed to be doing online and on my social media. So the first one is sell, 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 and you will fail. Anyone in here go to networking events, and if you're in insurance, I'm so sorry that I'm using you as an example. Fred, the insurance guy, comes up to you, and he spends 20 minutes trying to sell you his product or service, and you're wanting to pull your hair out. What happens the next time you're at that networking event and you see Fred? You run really far away, really fast. So the same thing applies. If you spend all your time online selling, you're going to end up turning people off. What Constant Contact tells me to tell people is spend 70% of your time educating and educating and informing. And this kind of goes back to the interesting and relevant things to say that I told you we're going to spend quite a bit of time on. And then Constant Contact tells me to tell you to spend 30% of your time doing your promotions, your selling aspect. I think that's a really great place to start. But if you can bear with me, I like to do 70% of my time informing or educating. I like to spend 20% of my time promoting and selling, because at the end of the day, we do want that money in the bank, right? And I like to spend 10% of my time giving a personal peek. So we've all heard the saying that people do business with people they know and people they trust. Well, the only way they're gonna get to know me, at least if it's just online, is if I'm letting them know a little bit about myself or the culture of my company or my business. Next up is me will part the seas. I have to throw us ladies under the bus on this one. Anyone have a best girlfriend, aunt, mother, who you call on the phone and the only person they talk about is themselves and their problems? Yeah. When that phone rings and you see that name on the caller ID, do you pick it up the next time? So if you're only talking about yourself, the same thing applies to online or email marketing or social media sites. People are gonna tune out, they're not gonna pay attention. Next is we want to make sure that on our pages we're empowering, engaging, and educating. Engagement is so important. Whenever we're making a post, how many likes are we getting? How many shares? How many comments? How many retweets? Some wonderful things that are trending in the social media world as we speak are fill in the blank. So let's take an example of a massage company. I love Beloved Body Massage because blank, 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 blank. That's going to get killer results. Especially if you're not feeling very creative that day and don't quite know what to say, fill in the blank is a great thing to use. Other things that are extremely trending are images. Did you know that folks are 4% more likely to click, like, comment, share, retweet an image than they are just a straight verbiage post? Within that, you can even get a little bit more fancy and have a caption of the day. Have a great image of one of your products or services, or maybe it's your crew, your employees doing something funny or crazy, and ask your fans to pick a caption for you. Folks go nuts over this kind of stuff. Finally, next is give and you shall receive. 42% of folks that follow you on social media are following you because they want something. They want to know about upcoming specials, upcoming events, coupons that you have, new menu items. Share, care, and be there. This one ties into my next one is, by be there, I mean, make sure you're replying, thinking, and taking care of negative comments. Anybody in here ever get a negative comment on their social media page? You don't have to lie. Maybe one? What did it feel like? Did it just feel like you were punched in the stomach? It was awful, wasn't it? So what did you do?
We commented back to them with our professional answers.
Was it resolved? Did you keep that fan? Did you feel good about it?
Can't remember. I don't think they wrote back,
But you tried to do the right thing? How about you? What did you do on your negative comment?
The same, it's your chance to.
Showcase your customer service to the entire social media. You would be amazed how many business owners or businesses are deleting those negative comments. And by deleting them, you're saying several things. I don't care about you, and I don't care that anyone else knows that I don't care about you. And that's a really great way to lose fans and lose clients really, really fast. Now, there are certain cases where you need to take that complaint. I've seen vulgar ones in the past, examples of vulgar ones where you definitely don't want bleep X on your page, so of course you want to delete that. But then just take that complaint offline. Try to get that person's contact information, email them, pick up the phone and call them, and try to at least do the best you can to make them feel better about your product or service. Next is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and this is absolutely true, but what happens online and on your social media sites stays online. And your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids are going to be able to look you up and see what you are doing. So make sure you're always paying attention to not only your personal reflection, but your business reflection as well. And finally, first impressions make lasting impressions. So I have a true story here. You see my guy in the corner. A year and a half ago, a local insurance company, I only pick on insurance guys twice. A local insurance company called me up and says, Tara, can Brown Marketing take a look at my pages, give us a hand, see what we're doing right, see what we're doing wrong? Absolutely, I say. So I get on Facebook and I find their page, and it appears that they had just had a Christmas party not too long ago. And they took pictures of themselves at this Christmas party, which is a wonderful idea. People love images of you and your staff. They want a face to the name, if you will. However, this Christmas party, they partook in a few adult beverages and took pictures of themselves, red and glossy-eyed, and beer bottles and wine glasses, and it was a giant mess. So if I'm a potential customer and I'm getting on their social media site to check them out first, and I see a bunch of, in my first impression, drunks handling that insurance company, is there any way that I'm going to do business with them? No, and they're a great group of guys. They just made a mistake on what they put online. So make sure that you realize that first impressions, they really can be detrimental or positive for your business. Next up is to plan ahead. You want to make sure that if you can, you want to make sure that you're scheduling your marketing just as you would an appointment. I tell folks to go out and buy one of those great big dorky calendars, the paper ones, we've all seen them. go through and mark all of your special events that you already have going on. So if you know every March that you do a potluck dinner, go on ahead and put that on there. Mark through all the holidays, 4th of July, Christmas, the beginning of football season for a lot of men is a holiday. Use your themes and community events, put everything you can on your calendar that you know in advance. Now, how many folks kind of lay in bed at night and have the best marketing ideas in the world, and then you wake up the next morning and you forget to write them down? Is that just me? Now, not necessarily take your post-note book to bed, but I recommend keeping a little pad of paper with you as often as you can. Whenever that great marketing idea comes to you, write it down, put it on a post-note, and stick on that blank space in that big calendar that you have. The reason I say a post-it note is because let's say the next week an even better idea comes up and put that on the post-it note. You just kind of switch those and move those around. And when you start doing this, you'll start to get your marketing calendar full, and it'll really help with some of those creative juices and knowing what to say and what to talk about certain times of the year. Tip number 8 leads right into this, and this is all about crafting up content. Anybody just get writer's block whenever they're trying to post on their social media sites or write an email? Sometimes I do, a lot I get writer's block. I have no idea what to say on some days. There's some great things that you can do to kind of help alleviate that stress and that pain. So here's my 70% educate, 20% promote, and 10% personal peak. Remember that less is more, and you can repurpose your content. I have some great examples of what that looks like. Who has frequently asked questions on their website or on any of their marketing materials? How many folks get the same 5, 10 phone calls every single day with the same questions? These are both really good repurposing of content that you can put on your social media sites. Other things you can put on there is articles that you find that are relevant to you or to your industry. Use that Google Alerts. Use technorati.com. Anyone heard of this before? It's a blog directory. It's great. They have topics on absolutely everything. And use your own blogs too. Try to come up with thought-provoking discussion that inspire dialogue. Okay, so what does that mean? If I'm going to be nice to the insurance guys now. If I am that insurance agent, is there anything going on right now in the news that might create thought-provoking dialogue?
Bad weather, fire.
Bad weather, fire. I was thinking more Obamacare or the upcoming 2012 elections. I always say don't pick a side. Don't talk about religions. Don't talk about politics. But am I going to ask the question, hey, who are you voting for on my insurance page? You think Obama's the way to go? Is that going to be the healthcare system in the future? Or are you going with Romney? Do you believe that his views are correct? You better bet your bottom dollar there's going to be a lot of conversations on the page about this one. So try to get them excited. Try not to make anybody grumpy, but try to get them excited and talking back and forth and sharing their views and opinions. Next is videos, photos, and podcasts. I already told you, as many photos as you can, the better. You're going to get more clicks and more likes. And ask questions, post testimonials, and do polls and surveys. A lot of folks will say, well, I have a lot of folks that'll write a letter testimonial, or they'll email me a testimonial. How can I get that onto my page to show my fans or followers or connections that folks really like me? Well, here's what I do. I'll write, Susan will write me and say, Tara, this was great. Thank you so much for doing this. I'll copy that out of my email, and on my Facebook post, I'll say, Susan, you're an amazing client. Thank you so much for the kind words. And then in quotes, I'll have what Susan said. So then I look at the great guy, not only thanking my clients, but I'm showcasing their testimonial, and it's a nice way to brag about yourself without letting folks really know that you're bragging about yourself. So I told you I'd give you some examples of how to repurpose content. This is a newsletter that a company called Focus HR sent out, and I know it's a little fuzzy there in the back, but if you see in the center, they have an article titled Perception is Reality. Well, they took that topic and they decided to write an entire blog about perception is reality. They took that blog and they posted it on their Twitter site, and then took that same topic and made a Facebook post. So did you ever get the reality is perception speech? The last time I showed this seminar, someone said, hey, did you notice that no one commented? It's because I just stole it off their page. So I tried to go back and find, but it was too long in the past. I couldn't find the post any longer. So they had one topic, and we were able to go across multiple mediums with it. Tip number 9 is all about growing your social. So we know how to schedule it out. We know some things to do and not to do. We know how we're going to promote and how we're going to educate and how we're going to give a personal feed. That's all well and good. We can have the most beautiful posts in the entire world. But if nobody's there to pay attention or to see them or to listen to them, we're not really doing much good. So that's the question. How do I get more fans and more likes and more followers? I always tell folks to start with their email address. How many folks in here have their social media icons on their email address? couple? Perhaps see some head nods, some ladies raising their hand. This is my email address, so it says, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's my websites. And if you click on these 3 buttons, you can go to my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn. Now, how many guys have a really crazy high firewall, and anytime someone sends images, they can't see them to save their life? It's really frustrating, isn't it? Some of those bigger companies really kind of mess with our images. So what I did to kind of combat that is, I have the same, what's called a handle on every single social media site that I have. You go to facebook.com/Raw Marketing LLC, twitter.com, Raw Marketing, and the same through all my social media sites. So if you don't see these great images, hopefully you at least know to go to anywhere on the web and find me at /Raw Marketing LLC. If you have the opportunity to make all your handles the same, it really makes it easy for your clients to find you this way. The next thing you can do is create an email campaign. I call this an email postcard. So we've all seen the email newsletters, and some are really terrific and great. I do think Harder House has a pretty killer email newsletter that goes out, am I right? You guys haven't signed up for that list, go ahead and do it, it's wonderful. But folks are getting kind of tired of reading a whole bunch of stuff in their email. They're getting hundreds of emails a day. So what's trending right now is email postcards, and they're just simple. It could be something like this: I am social. Find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, find me on LinkedIn. I don't recommend to send this out every week. I think people get really tired of it, but I send it out once a quarter. And after I send this out, if I get 50 new Facebook likes and 20 new Twitter followers and 10 new LinkedIn connections, what can I guess? Most of my folks are on Facebook, so I should invest a little bit more time there. Basically what it says is just I can learn where my customers are hanging out. Another way, some other ways to grow your social is to add interactive icons to your website. So if this is your website here, just add a Facebook and a Twitter and a Pinterest and a LinkedIn button if you're in all those spots. Add it to your newsletter templates. Add it to your business cards. I always stop here because I haven't quite figured out how to add social or interactive icons to my business card. And if anybody has that technology, I'd like to know how to do it. Meaning I can just press on the business card and land on the Facebook page. But what I'm seeing trending right now is a lot of companies are reordering their business cards, redesigning them, and either on the front or sometimes on the back, they have their social media sites that they're on, and then that handle, that /Raw Marketing LLC. You want to make sure that you're also adding your social media links and icons to any other printed material that you do. And if you're doing radio or TV commercials, make sure you add that 5 seconds, hey, you can find us on Facebook at blah.com. It's a great way to let your fans know that you're there.
Sharon?
Yes.
What about QR codes?
Yeah. Could you put that on a business card?
My business card has a QR code on it. I love it. I think QR codes are fantastic. I heard a rumor, I haven't seen the technology in our area just yet, but I heard a rumor on the coast. They have tweaked the QR code to someone's logo, where you can actually, I haven't seen it yet here, scan someone's logo just as you scan a QR code and go to whatever landing page or site that they want you to go to. I think this is kind of what's trending. I think we're going to see a change in QR codes, but for now it's a really easy, free way to get folks to help find you a little bit better. This works especially well if you have products, you have packaging that you're trying to get folks to find you socially on. And how many in here have a QR code right now? A couple? Do you have any way to track the results to see how many people are scanning those?
I don't know.
Anybody come right in the door and say, hey, I saw your QR code on this package or sign and I thought it was fantastic? Not yet. I haven't heard that from mine either. But I have to assume it's working in some way because everyone always asks about it.
How does one create a QR code?
There are multiple different websites out there that will let you create a free QR code. I use kimtag.com, that's KIMTAG.com. The reason I like it is because I can change the color of my QR code. So if I don't want the boring black one, I can make it blue or green or purple. I think they have a multiple color option. Don't quote me on that. But it's really simple to set up. With your QR code, you can set it a couple different ways. A lot of people say to make it go directly to one page, either make it go to your Facebook or your Twitter or a landing page. Others want it to go to their website. I prefer to take a different route for me personally. I don't know how folks want to connect with me, and being all about social media, I want to give them an option. So if you click on, or if you scan my QR code, you're going to go to a hub, if you will. And from there you can choose to go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, website, send me an email, call me, etc. And kimtag.com offers the
But you're not a
QR
package of cookies.
I'm not a package of cookies, so I post my QR code primarily on my business cards. I've used it at times in different events that I'm promoting. A great example would be on some of the library promotional materials for this event and the other events that we're doing. We've included a QR code on them so that people can just, oh, I want to go to that, and scan it with their phone and go straight to that online registration. Where are you using your QR codes at?
We don't even have one.
We don't even have one? I think,
We use ours in our ads. We have a different QR code set up for different ads, but we can track it.
and are these, what kind of ad are we talking about?
We're talking about ads to manufacturers who are looking to manufacture their own dietary supplements.
Okay.
So it's B2B.
How your,
Well, I work at Mercy Hospital, and we did a collaboration with Cox Hospitals to create a walking mile between the two hospitals. And we had medallions made to put on the sidewalk so that they could scan QR code on the medallions, and it takes them to a tracking.
Right.
So people can track their steps, they can help.
So you could use the same sort of thing if you were doing a stop and a tour or.
Someone can help me with this. I saw a news report maybe a month ago, I believe it was by KY3, and they have down in the downtown square QR codes set up around downtown that you can scan and learn different historical facts about, is it Jesse James?
Yes.
So I thought that was extremely innovative in the city of Springfield. If you get a chance, go down there, make sure you have the QR code app reader downloaded on your phone. I haven't done that yet, but I'm really excited to give it a chance. This is another way you can tell folks that you're social or help grow your social. And not everyone in here can afford a billboard, and I realize that. But this is a great Fresh Brothers pizza. They bought a billboard, it's giant, it's over the highway, and they have a delicious looking pizza in it, and I skipped lunch, so now I'm really hungry. But it has the Facebook F in it, and we all know what that means. They're just letting folks know, hey, we have pizza, and we're on Facebook. Awesome. Other ways to grow your social is to let your customers grow your social for you. This is an email newsletter by Barkbusters Home Dog Training. And what I want you to focus on is the share bar. If I get this email sent to me, I click on Facebook and share this email on Facebook with all of my friends or fans, depending on how I share it. And say I want to share it on Twitter, I can do that as well, and this is exactly what it would look like. And I can share it also on LinkedIn as well. Another thing you want to make sure you're adding to any email that you're doing is join my email list. For those folks that are using Constant Contact or any email marketing solutions provider right now, are you including the join my email list? Do you put it at the top or the bottom?
Top, I think.
Top. Anybody else? Anybody bottomers? Middle? That's good. I like to put it at the top and the bottom. So the reason I put it at the top is say I get this email and I'm forwarding it on to you, and I won't even look right away and say, oh yeah, I think I want to join this. But maybe I get this email and I'm not really sure that I want to be on this list. You forwarded it to me and it seems a little fishy. So I'm going to check out all of the content that they're talking about first, make sure this is relevant to me, get to the bottom, and then make my decision. So that's why I like to put on both, but I think the middle is a great idea too. Do you find that you have a lot of new email signups? Some. This is a true story example about measuring effectiveness with not only email marketing, but how to incorporate the social media aspect into it. This is a real butcher shop in Seattle. Their name is The Slinery, and pay really close attention here. They had International Bacon Day with free bacon chocolate chip cookies. I tried to get them to make bacon chocolate chip cookies for us today, and they wouldn't do it. So they had about 3,800 folks in their email newsletter list, subscribers. They sent the email out, and they received 816 opens. What do you guys think? Is that a good open rate? 22% is good. The open rate that you're shooting for is 20 to 25%. So this is a decent open rate. But the cool thing was, and I think it's all based on the free bacon chocolate chip cookie, it was viewed an additional 485 times and liked by an additional 181 folks, making them or representing a 60% increase in reach. So why is that important? If you're sending out email newsletters, you're trying to utilize email and social media, and you're using the share bar and all these functions together, and you have a really boring, sorry to say boring, subject line, like open, it's probably not going to happen. People aren't going to do it. But are they going to click on something weird and random and exciting, like a free bacon chocolate chip cookie? Yeah, absolutely.
Are these one-way emails or response types? I mean, how much time do you have to respond to 816?
Well, these are one-way emails.
Yeah, okay.
There are always contact information, you know, listed within the sides of the emails. I always recommend making sure you include that, the way if they do have a direct question or wanna call you to order, have all that information there. Also try to include your website address a couple times within your email so folks can find you on the web as well. But no, typically these emails are sent out as your promotion. I wanna tell you about something that we're doing, an event or a special or a new product or service that we have, or in this case, free bacon chocolate chip cookies. Still haven't got anyone in Springfield to make me one of those. Go ahead.
Is an open on I've always wondered this. Is an open on constant contact just you're reading through your email and like on Outlook, you know, you go down and it flashes on the side. Is that kind of an open, or is it actually clicking and opening it?
Outlook kind of messes with our numbers because they give you a preview of that email, so you'll never actually have to open it in order to see what the content is, right? So no, in that case, that open doesn't count because they could have read the entire thing and then either deleted it or saved it or forwarded it or what have you, and you wouldn't have known.
Are there other measurement tools such as conversion or finding out where people go once they click on a particular article, where they go next?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're getting ready to talk about that. Whether you have Constant Contact or any other email marketing solution provider, almost all of them will provide you that kind of insight. So we're gonna the next two slides we cover that. First I wanna say, you can always schedule your emails. Let me ask you a question. If I am targeting business owners, you think it's a good idea for me to schedule my email to be at 8 to 10 o'clock on a Monday morning? No? How many openings do you think I'm gonna get? None of them. What about, same scenario, but how if I send it out on 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon? Is anybody gonna open that email? So everyone says, well, what's the best time to send them? How do I know? Typically, the best time to send them is Tuesday through Thursday between the hours of 10 and 3. Now keep in mind that everyone's a little bit different and your business might have some special quirks and you can get away with some fun stuff. But those are your typical hours, and try to test it out a little bit. So first time I send my email out, I'm gonna send it out Tuesday at 2. But then I wanna see what happens at Wednesday at 2, and so on. And try to find the time that works best for your business. Now, nonprofits. You guys really make me jealous. You get away with a lot more stuff than we do. For instance, nonprofits, the best time to send out emails are on Saturdays. This makes me really grumpy because I can't send out emails on Saturdays. So if you haven't sent out an email on Saturday, try sending one out then and see if your results change at all. Okay, so besides this, when scheduling your email, like I said, Constant Contact or any other email marketing solutions provider, well, it should have some sort of a simple share button, meaning I have this beautiful email, and not only am I sending it to my email folks, pardon me, but I'm also going to send it out to my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn. And it's gonna look something like this. You can go through and edit your message to each social site. We all know that our Facebook folks talk a little bit different than our Twitter folks, talk a little bit different than our LinkedIn folks. Make sure you're tailoring your message to each one if you choose to do this option.
I have a question about that. We've actually tried to use it, and it seems like we'll see our post 2 or 3 days later, not at the time that the email was scheduled. Like if we schedule the email for Friday afternoon, we won't see it up on Facebook until Monday.
That would be an issue that I would call the 1-800 number and talk to them about.
I figured so, but.
There's been, I usually don't have that problem. I know about maybe 2 months ago, and it could have just been that one fluke time that you tried to send it out, and they were having some problems with this share option, and they got it fixed within 48 hours. But I would call, there's some great representatives. Anytime you have like little funky quirks like that happening with your Constant Contact account, these guys love to talk to you on the phone, and normally you walk away with like 2 or 3 more tips more than you actually started the call with in the first place. So if you don't have their number, get with me afterwards. I'll give you the 1-800 number.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what it looks like on Facebook, which we kind of saw what a Twitter post looked like earlier. This is what, not today's seminar, but the one back in April, looked like on a Facebook page. You do a really great job of making your post for you. Finally, we're going to talk about stats, right? That's what everyone really wants to know. So by sending out your email, if you do decide to make it go social or to include your social media links, you can see how many shares and likes and tweets and posts you have. And hopefully you get the result that say you went social, but if you didn't, then you know that maybe you want to tweak your message a little bit. Maybe you need to send it out at a different time. Tip number 2 today is all about managing your socials. We've talked about 500 different social media sites and websites and online directories and scheduling and marketing, and everyone feels really overwhelmed right now, but there's some simple tools you can use to help clear everything out of your head and out of your desk. Nutshellmail.com, it's by Constant Contact, but it's a free service, and it's kind of like a social media DVR. We all know what a DVR is, So I have all my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn, everything that's being said about me coming right into my email inbox within that one email. I can track my page insights. I can read my fan comments. I can also respond to my fan comments right from my inbox without having to log into all those different social media sites just to answer a couple questions. This is a great tool. I recommend everyone going home and getting and signing up for this. Another great tool is Hootsuite.com. Hootsuite.com allows you to add your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn sites to this account. It's free to sign up, as long as you have 5 accounts or less. I believe is their magic number. It shows you your news feed, and it also allows you to schedule your post. So let's say I don't feel like reading all my posts on all my sites today, and I want a little help. I have a really busy day coming up. You can go to Hootsuite and allow them to schedule it for you. Now, I talk about Hootsuite with caution, because if you're only using Hootsuite or TweetDeck to send out your post, folks know this. They see that little tweet bird, or they see the Hootsuite owl by every single post that you make. I recommend using this for vacation times. I'm on the beach tanning and sitting in the sun. I don't want to mess with my Facebook. Or if I have a really week or two crazy busy coming up with appointments, I'll use this. But for your everyday posts, I don't. People will start thinking you're a bot or a robot, and they'll kind of tune out the message. They think, well, gosh, they don't even have time to actually get on the page and talk to me, so I guess I don't have the time to actually go on their store and talk to them. Makes sense for everybody? And there's marketers on the other side of the fence that would fight me to the death on this point of view. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. Had a little bonus today. It's all about testing to see what works. That's what's really important, right? Make sure you're tracking your reports from your email, your website activity, and your Google Analytics. Is the phone, sales, and foot traffic, is it any different? So if you're using these social media sites and you're not seeing any difference in sales or phone calls or website clicks, maybe you might want to consider tweaking your message or when you're posting or how you're talking on your pages. Also, how many clicks, connections, fans, followers, likes, retweets, and pins are you getting? Is this number staying stagnant? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? What are your impressions like? How many comments you're getting? And are your email subscribers increasing? Did anyone in here keep track of their Facebook insights? Facebook has the best reporting tools in the world. For those of you that raised your hand earlier that have a Facebook business page, I urge you to get on there and look at your insights. You can see some of the most crazy information from what percentage of men versus women like your page, where they're located geographically, how many posts that you're making are going viral or getting virality. You can even break down each individual post that you've ever made in the history of your page and look and see the numbers to see which types of posts are getting the most interaction. So if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing on your page, but you've had a couple really good posts, go back and track and find out what those ones were. The Facebook insights are absolutely amazing. Okay, so I told you my story about the nails already, and I told you we'd skip over that whenever I got to it. So I'm going to click through this if you don't mind. So today we talked about setting goals, knowing your audience, making sure that you're monitoring your online brand, branding up and being consistent all across all of our online presence, how to listen, learn, and earn from your customers and your competitors. That matters matter, right? I love that one. We're going to plan ahead. We're going to buy that big marketing calendar. If you don't want to waste paper, Google has some great calendars you can use for free. How to craft up content, and not only that, but repurpose it. Some ways to grow your social, and some ways to manage your social media without spending all day on all your social media sites.